Let's take a moment and talk about what's some of the reasons we all resist change. Think back on your life experiences. Does anyone want to open?
Sure. I guess just stepping out of your comfort zone.
Oh, that's a key one.
Yeah, we kind of get used to our day-to-day, especially at work, sometimes at home, and we get used to our day-to-day and we feel like it's working. So when someone comes in to say that we need to switch it up, change it a little bit, it just can feel uncomfortable a little bit because you kind of feel like you're doing, not the best that you can do, but just, good enough. So it's working, so.
In a collaborative team, sometimes it can be difficult to be the instigator of change, and sometimes it's more comfortable just to go along with the group thinking and not to
Rock the boat.
Yes, don't rock the boat.
Groupthink is a huge problem on teams that are too comfortable, right? Huge problem. Faces all organizations, so that's a good one. What else?
I think the lack of comfort you have and the control when something is changing. You
Loss
get
of
used
control.
loss of control. You get used to the way you do things, and then this change comes about, and you're like, well, can I do it like that? I don't know if I can control the situation.
Right. Any other?
I think the lack of information. I think sometimes it's not appropriate for you to have as much information as sometimes you may want in the process. And what I mean by that is sometimes the changes are, for instance, administrative changes. Like you make changes as an administration and you provide enough information for the teachers to understand, but the teacher may feel like they don't have all the information.
Or where do the parents say, why
Right.
is this
Where
teacher
did this come
gone?
from?
Or the team, they'll say, why is this teacher gone? I'm like,
Right.
it's really none of your business, but I want to know it affects my child.
Yeah.
And what they really want to know is this going to hurt my child?
Right.
Yeah.
The trust. That's I
Right.
think the lack of information directly relates to the trust in the vision.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but at some point you have to trust that the vision is going to work and go along with the changes that are necessary.
Does fatigue affect your ability to accept change?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The timing of change can be critical on whether you get a whole buy-in or not. Especially, with teams that have gone through a lot of either conflict or change in their own,
Makeup.
who's in there and who's not. And then, if it feels like it's too much, there's an overwhelmed sense that can result in a lot of fatigue.
It's almost a paralysis. It's like I can't do anything. It's too much.
Right. And then a concept that we'll talk about later is a book called, I think, Switch, is the elephant and the rider. Is the elephant are our emotions and the rider is our intellect. And in times of change, if you're not in an emotional balanced state, then that elephant can take you in places you don't want to go. So when we're, as an organization, looking at change, and we have a lot of people who are fatigued, or a lot of people who are feeling unsettled, you have to be really careful with the change because you got to get the elephant on board first, right?
Buy-in.
The emotional buy-in. And there's techniques you can use, like in this book, Switch, one of the things it talked about is if you got a huge change, don't present it as a huge change. Talk about it as a series of 6 or 7 steps. And step 1 you've already done.
Right.
Step 3 you've done in various forms before, so people see it's not insurmountable.
It's almost like what we do when we work with children. If I give a child in my classroom a 5-step process, that's way too much. It's too overwhelming. They can't, it's too much to process. And so of course they resist because after step 2 they've lost 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And so they do nothing. And so change is kind of like that if
Yep.
you are in a place where it feels like it's too much to do.
Right.
So presenting it in smaller groups kind of helps the
Right.
buy-in.
Incremental steps.
Yeah.
My favorite saying, my children are sick of it, is how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Bingo, right? That's how you eat it. And you can eat a whole elephant if you don't try to do it at one meal.
That's right.
Right? Thank you.